Lives of our Saints. On the 29th of July, our church celebrates the feast of St Kallinikos. The following are some thoughts on his life and works. Kallinikos hailed from Cilicia in Asia Minor and received his religious training primarily at the hands of monks. He was allowed to develop his oratorical skills along with his usual meditation, prayer and fasting, so that when at last he emerged from within the walls of the monastery, he was a formidable adversary for anyone who questioned the will of God or the teachings of Christianity. The inspirational sermons of Kallinikos came to the attention of other clergy of the area who suggested he use his voice and compelling oratory for missionary work among the faithless. He thereafter embarked on a preaching tour, succeeding where others had failed, because whenever he spoke, pagan and Christian alike stopped to listen. Once he had the attention of any group, he was virtually hypnotic. Each person stood transfixed in the presence of a speaker inspired by God. At the conclusion of any of his orations for Christ, his listeners went away convinced they had heard a voice that was as close to the divine as they would ever hear in their lifetime. Hecklers stood no chance when they interrupted Kallinikos, who had an overpowering response to would-be detractors. They were very soon hushed not only by his sharp-witted replies, but by the glances of those anxious to hear more. Pagans who had refused for years to abandon their gods began in great numbers to discard their stone images and fancied figures in a rush to Christianity which alarmed those in high office. The governor of the province, a man named Sacerdos, fancied himself the equal in debate of anyone in the empire, but he was an astute politician who relied on platitudes, vague generalities, and a good degree of demagoguery for his glib tongue. He issued a challenge for Kallinikos to meet him in a debate in a public forum. There he anticipated the tables would be turned and he would not be forced to prosecute a man of such enormous popularity. The public forum was jammed with people from Kallinikos, and Sacerdos squared off in a verbal joust that was sure to be a standoff, the governor ultimately victorious because of his high position. It was hardly the case, as the gifted Christian preacher made a shambles of the politician's arguments at every exchange, emerging the clear victor. Finally, the exasperated governor, realizing he had been outclassed, began a shouting match with threats of every form, which the calm Christian took in stride and for which he had answers of pinpoint accuracy. Kallinikos was sentenced to death, forced to march 60 miles to Gangra. En route, he caused a dry well to bring forth water to quench the thirst of the patrol sent with him. He was executed July 29, and the well still yields clear drinking water.